Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this video we're gonna check out my signature ESP Japan custom shop Eclipse model. So yeah, I mean, I've done a few videos of my guitars, but realized, based on your comments, dear watchers, that I haven't done a video or discussed about the signature model I have. The story of this guitar is actually, when we begin the story, we should take the guitar that the story begins with. So about 20 something years ago, I was introduced to Tokai guitars, still a young guy. Well, I'm still young, but just a little bit older. And I immediately fell in love with the guitars because the price was affordable and the quality was and still is a top notch. And especially compared to some other brands, Tokai has been constantly making high quality instruments with quite affordable prices. So I got this guitar. It was one of the first I got or bought, and I shaved the neck because I like the feel of the wood, and then I was using EMG pickups prior to this guitar because on my first guitar, one of the first guitars, Les Paul type guitars I had was an Epiphone, and I just didn't like the pickups. How they sounded, their feedback. There was something missing. I couldn't get the punch I needed. I mean, back in the time I was still like a young kid, so I didn't know anything about anything. And back then there weren't no internet. Or at least as we know it today. So I went to Musamaailma, the shop that I've been a customer, and I've been working with them, 20 years something. And I told them that what my problem was, and they said, well, EMG 81 and 85 might be the pickups you're looking for. And then they said the magic word, and Zakk Wylde also uses those. I was like, okay. Deal done. If it's good for Zakk, it must be good for me. And so it was. I immediately felt like, yeah, these are mine. The response, the sound, the punch, everything, the in-your-face kind of tone, the tight low end. So, well, yeah. So when I got this guitar, I removed the original pickups, probably some Tokai humbuckers, and put it these. And then this is actually the logo. This is tape. This is tape by Musamaailma. This is actually the logo of my one of the first bands. I think it was the first band that I got a record deal with called God's Plague. I mean, we released our last album, I think 2011. We've been kind of on a hiatus back then. We never kind of made it outside of Finland, but in Finland we were on charts, and did many tours, many festivals in Finland. The music was kind of like, I'll put the link, the Spotify link, but it's kind of Black Label, Pantera, Southern rock, kind of, this muscular riff-based rock metal. We call it Friday night boozing heavy metal, I think it was. At least one of our t-shirts said that. Well, anyway, yeah, so this was the band's logo, and I have it tattooed here, and kind of since I was the founding member and the main, not a songwriter, but a riff writer, because I wrote the songs, basically all of the songs with our vocalist Nico Hartonen, my dear friend. And since that, it's kind of been, it's been also my kind of personal logo, you know, the stripes, I love it, you know, who doesn't love skulls and stuff. So, but yeah, this has been on many albums. Well, there's a Black Label sticker, and the story of this, I guess I told it maybe before on the home studio video, but I met Zach White and he signed this, and he also signed my arm, which I got tattooed, and he played with this guitar. We were sitting in a hotel bar many hours, drinking beer and telling, you know, all kinds of road stories. It was really nice for a young kid at that time. He turned out to be a really nice and humble guy, and that he had time to, you know, talk with us and chat with us many hours and answer all kinds of probably stupid questions about guitars and stuff. So anyway, yeah. So this was my main workhorse in studio and live for many years, and but what then when it was when Musa Maailma started to distribute ESP guitars in Finland, I first got a couple of others, like the V, the Lynch, and some 7 strings, because the Les Pauls I have all the 4 Les Pauls that I had back then. Though whenever I was playing Les Paul, and most of the time I was and still is, I used Tokais. But then I remember how it happened. Who brought the idea that would I wanna do like a signature model, you know, custom shop, and I was like, yeah, sure. So the customs are basically the only thing that I was like, well, basically make it like this, but with the exception that instead of a rosewood neck, I wanted to have a maple neck, because I have a maple neck on some of these other guitars that I already had from ESP, and I like the feel, the touch, and even the sound. Maple neck with ebony fingerboard, it's really aggressive and like in your face. You can hear all the mistakes and also all the right notes. And since rosewood is a bit softer wood, it's more the climate changes, the moisture, the dryness of the air, it affects, in my experience, a bit more on softer woods like rosewood. So I need to constantly, that's why I still don't have the cover there, so I needed to adjust it, you know. So I found it with those other guitars that I had that had a maple neck, that it's more you don't have to mess with it that much. You set it up and then it's, you know, will be fine. Of course you have to tweak it sometimes, but basically that was the only thing. And well, yeah, EMG 8185, Boss Super Overdrive, Marshall JZM 800, what I have now, it's you know, it's the sound that I grew up with. Marshall JZM 800 was my first tube amp, again from Musa Maailma, and with the Super Overdrive, the recommendation, because I was like, I like this and that kind of sound, and I like, you know, Zach's sound and Randy's, so okay, hey, here's Marshall JZM 800, here's Super Overdrive for you, off you go. And off I went. Okay, so back to the, so this was the guitar ESP made for me. It's actually now when I switch it, this is a bit heavier. They have the same body wood. It's mahogany body, maple top, ebony fingerboard, Dunlop jumbo frets, graphite nut, and this has a Garach locking tuners. That one has just regular tuners, and the only difference basically is this has the shaved maple neck, just ESP signature series here, and but other than that, it's the same. This is actually a bit heavier than that one. So yeah, and originally this came with actually these white pickups, EMG 8185, but at one point I switched those white to that, and those had black EMGs. I'll discuss the other guitars in another video. So that had a black EMGs, and now they are, I guess, in some other guitar, because then I bought, when EMG released 57 and 66 pickups, I tried these, and I also like those a lot. So this has had those back then, but just recently I switched these from another guitar that I have. These are 81, 85, because with Marshalls and the Super Overdrive, this 81, 85 just seems to work perfectly. On my live guitars, because I have a exact like this but white, and then another black which has a black hardware. You may have seen me playing those on Syra shows. So on those guitars I have the 57 and 66 set, because we're not playing with any real amps live. I'm using my old pedal board, the Super Overdrive into Friedman BOD, and there it goes to a New Neighbor Iconoclast speaker simulator. And with that setup, the 57, because it has kind of like vintage, you feel those little bit of those, some may call harsh high-end stuff, and that low middle thump, which you have with Marshalls or any tube amps, not any, but most of the, at least, you know, JZM 800s. So I was able to, those pickups, I will get the sound in my head, which is basically a Super Overdrive into Marshall JZM 800. I'll get that, almost that sound with the, without an amp, with the setup that I use in Syra. I put a link there or there on the video where I show that gear. So yeah, but those two pickups or 57, 66, 81, 85 I like, but if I had to choose one or the other, I will choose 81, 85. So yeah, so this is some Metallica, but this sound basically the same. Maybe this one has a little bit more aggressive sound due to the maple neck. I mean, well, when you listen, you'll be the judge. But to me, they're not that big of a difference. At least when you play loud and stuff, it's like, yeah, you know, they're the same. But I really love the feel of the shaved and like satin feel of a shaved maple neck. It's a bit smoother also than the mahogany. So yeah, that's the story of the guitar. Euge signature here. There has been discussions throughout the years that if ESP would make this as a production model or maybe an LTD version, but now those discussions has been on ice because so many more famous guitar players than myself are using ESPs, and of course, obviously, it's a business thing whether they see that you're valuable enough to have your own signature model or not. But I'm still glad that I have the deal and I'm able to get these, sometimes for free and sometimes with a little bit of money. But yeah, let's see if someday if me or my band Syra will be successful enough that they see a business thing of me with my own production model available to public. But I mean, you can order this guitar. We have a deal that if someone contacts Musamama or ESP that they want to order exactly like this guitar, I told them it's fine by me, but I'd like them to ask my permission or whatever, just maybe notify me that, hey, what do you think, this guy wants to have exactly the same guitar than you, and well, I would be just honored. Hasn't happened yet. There have been a few questions that when I ordered, I was like, yeah, sure you can. I mean, when you're ready, when you want to make the order, I'll give you the specs, or you can ask them for Musambama or ESP. I'm sure they have the schematics because the body is a bit thicker than on a normal ESP. There's no these curves that sits well, because I like it to be ballsy and stuff. It's quite heavy. The neck is thicker than on the normal production model ESPs. So this is basically like the Tokai, I think, which is based on a 50s, what brand, Les Paul. Full thickness, everything, and there's a battery compartment. But really, really nice guitar. Yeah, what can I say? Thanks for watching. If you like, please do thumbs up and subscribe. And on the next video, which I'll be releasing probably in a few days, I'll talk more about all of my guitars by your request. Until next time, take care. Bye.